Welcome to Espresso JAMs, short, concentrated, delicious conversations about business, life, and more. And now, here's your host, Joe Matz.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Espresso Jams. And today I have a returning guest, Carrie Stafford. Welcome to the show, Carrie.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
So, Carrie is a professional coach working with busy entrepreneurs who want a little more life, business balance, right? But
Sounds
and,
right.
and although she's an expert in that subject, that's not what we're going to be talking about today. Because this interview today almost didn't happen. And I don't want to give away the goat here. So, Carrie, why didn't this interview almost happen?
Well, like so many others, I have been in a season of delay and waiting. So I've just been waiting for my website to be finished, waiting for new headshots and rebranding to happen. And I just kept asking Joe, hey, can we put this off? Because I'm still waiting. But he said, let's talk about that. A lot of people are waiting right now. It's been a very challenging year and a year of delay for a lot of people. So he said, let's just talk about that. And I said, that is brilliant. Let's do it.
Yeah, so I've been doing the waiting thing, but waiting it sounds like a passive activity when you say it that way. But that's kind of not what we're talking about, or we are talking about.
Well, sometimes we just find ourselves in a season of waiting, and sometimes there's a very good reason for it. And we have to wait, we have to pause. It's just that's the best choice for us at the time. Other times, I mean, we there are steps we can take to get unstuck, to move forward. So I guess it's really figuring out, like, is there a reason for me to be waiting right now, or can I move forward? Should I be moving forward?
So
And I
that's
decided to
something.
move forward and go ahead and do this.
Right. So we move forward on this. We stop the waiting game for this interview.
Right.
Um, but I'm not very good at waiting. Although sometimes I feel like I am. The situation changes. Right now, actually, I sent some files to someone. A lot of files, like over like 130 gigabytes. No, 130 megabytes. And I'm waiting for them to download those files. And I'm like waiting and I'm waiting. And I'm tired of waiting. I'm going to send an email as soon as we get off this call because it's Monday morning. I give them the weekend. All right. Not going to push. But it's Monday morning. I'm going to say, hey, did you download those files? Those files are ready for you. And so I'm waiting, but I want to be active. I'm always thinking, how can I move things forward? And
Or go
maybe
ahead.
that creates a little more stress than I need to create because it's not on me anymore. It's on them to download the files. But no, go ahead. I'm just rambling on here. I know you're waiting to chime in.
Well, I really just thought that this topic was very appropriate for now, because we have all been in the longest season of waiting, certainly that I've ever experienced in my lifetime, waiting to go back to our offices, waiting for our kids to go back into the classroom, waiting to be able to gather again in community, which is so important.
Hmm.
It can be very mentally and emotionally isolating to be in this state of delay for now an entire year. It's been 1 year.
Yeah.
um so just kind of figuring out, we have been waiting for so long. What can we do at this point to move forward and make that shift, and kind of get my life back on track, because a lot of us are tired of feeling stuck, of waiting, and we're kind of ready to move forward.
Right. So I think there's a mental activity, or if you want, I almost think of it as a mental game that we try and do what you can and not think about what you can't do. Because the more you think about what you can't do and the more you think about what you're waiting for, the more your energy and your focus is going towards what we might think of as a negative thing. And so try and do what you can do and focus on that. Um,
Right. So I talk to clients about that a lot. the power of choice, being aware of your choice. And sometimes it could mean staying right where you are, but other times it's, you know, I I can move forward. So what should I be doing? How can I shift my mindset and move towards what I want? You always have options. There are always options to look at. There may only be two, but it's important to examine your options and make a choice for yourself.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. And sometimes waiting is the appropriate response. But just because you're waiting on one thing doesn't mean you have to go and watch the boob tube until things move on and you can do something else. You can direct your energies to something else productive or real recreation, um, recreation, recreation. I kind of make that shit. Like, I hope a lot of people got out over the weekend here in Raleigh area, North Carolina. It was a beautiful weekend. And that kind of gets me invigorated to start the week.
Exactly. Just getting outside and being physically active can make such a difference in not just your physical health, but your mental and emotional health too.
Yes, that's true. And if you are waiting and maybe watching TV and you have your dog there, your puppy's there, pet your puppy. Your puppy will enjoy that. And that I find very relaxing. We've got two dogs here at home. They just love some belly rubs. And I think it's mentally soothing to me.
Very therapeutic, sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. And so one of the things that you had mentioned that you're waiting for is for your website to get up. Now, and you've got a webmaster developing your website, but it's not completely ready yet, right?
Right.
So, but I'm proud of you. You stopped waiting. We're doing this interview, and we're going to post your website here. We're gonna talk about it a little bit, but then we're going to put the actual address down here, and maybe in the comments too, if you can post after we make this live. And tell us your URL for your website, Carrie.
Sure. It's www.theinsideoutcoach.com.
Perfect, perfect. And inside out, I love that because everything happens internally first. Even if we think it
Sure. Yep.
doesn't, we're still reacting to something that happens externally, and it's our reaction that we have control over. And
Exactly.
I think it was Viktor Frankl who said, between action and reaction, there's a space in there in which we have control. And I find that so important. So if you're waiting,
So true.
you have a choice.
Right. You do. And that's I do have a couple takeaways for you all out there. Number one, I mentioned before, there may be a good reason for the delay. So if there is, just stay where you are.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a friend who was supposed to be opening up her photography studio several months ago, and she just couldn't. There were so many delays due to COVID and other things with the building. And instead of being bitter and frustrated, she changed her mindset and said, "I'm so thankful, because if we had opened up months ago, I would have had all these restrictions and it just would have been a nightmare." So she ended up
Mm.
being thankful for that. So there could be a good reason while you're waiting.
And there could be, it's life gives you lemons, make limoncello kind of thing. You know, you can always make it better and be thankful for what you have. And waiting might be, in the long run, in the grand scheme of things, the best thing.
Right, exactly. It could turn out to be the best thing for you and for your business. And then, use any extra time that you have while you're waiting. Maybe you don't have an hour-long commute to your office anymore, so use that time for self-care. Like we were talking about, getting out, being physically active, listen to something motivating. Just try to take advantage of the extra time that you do have.
Absolutely. Carrie, it has been wonderful speaking with you. And thank you for not waiting and coming on the show today. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Joe.
Bye bye now.
All right, bye.